Welcome to another edition of Voice of the Diaspora. Of course, this is an early morning show. A lot of you will not be up. Some of you will be preparing for work or on your way to work and so on. But of course, this program is streaming live via YouTube Live, and it's also streaming on Facebook Live, and it will be saved there for you to look at it whenever you have the time. Here today in studio with me is Dr. Berysha Solomon. Dr. Solomon was fired as a medical doctor. She will be telling us by the Ministry of Health. She will be telling us about that, giving us a brief history, and we will also be talking about other new developments in terms of her fear that she may be killed and it would be made to look like suicide. Of course, the Ministry of Health released a statement questioning Dr. Solomon's fitness. Of course, we will talk about that too as we move down into the program. But I want to welcome you, Dr. Solomon, to Voice of the Diaspora today. And I want to begin by asking you to tell us what happened when you returned to Guyana to practice as a medical doctor. Give us a brief history of what happened and why were you forced to leave, whether you were facing discrimination, what exactly happened that caused you to be out of work as a medical doctor with the Ministry of Health, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, good morning, everyone, all the viewers. A pleasant good morning to all Guyanese here in Guyana and in the diaspora. My name is Dr. Berysha Solomon. I am a medical doctor by profession. I received my an authentic, real medical degree from Latin American School of Medicine, which is ILAM, Havana, Cuba. I graduated in 2016, and also, I'm holder of a master's in business administration with a specialization in managing hospital and healthcare services, an MBA from the University of Bedfordshire, United Kingdom. Now, I'll give you guys a brief history because I already spoke about what happened when I came back from Cuba and how I was racially victimized here in Guyana medical fraternity by a few doctors. I'm not going to go down to label or paint my fellow Indo-Guyanese colleagues and other brothers and sisters in the medical fraternity as racist. I'm not here for that. I had racial encounters with a very few of them, and that was in the past, and that's about it. Now, when I returned to Guyana, I came back home in 2015. I spent 1 year doing my internship at the West Demerara Regional Hospital. During that period of time, I was an intern, and, there was a senior doctor there. We had a little issue outside of the hospital. It wasn't nothing concerning no patient or anything. I was a medical intern. I was never, at that point in time, I wasn't no medical license, so no medical council board, nobody didn't have no jurisdiction over me, over my personal life. If, I have some issue with some doctors, as I said, the issue was a love triangle affair that went really bad. Now, what the doctor did, she actually cut out a few, she created her own messaging and cut out a few clips of stuff, like social media stuff, and compile a large document. She took to the Medical Council Board of Guyana, told them that I was harassing her, threatening her, and all manner of things. She told us I received my first license from the Medical Council Board of Guyana, institutional license, which was in October of the year 2016. And I started working at Georgetown Public Hospital 2016 November. She waited. Myself and her had this big bickering and this issue in the summer of 2015. At a point in time, when I just finished graduating, she waited until I received my license from the Medical Council Board of Guyana, and then she decided to cut out whatever she had to cut out, create her own document, took it to the Medical Council Board of Guyana. She told me to my face how she gonna take it to the board to ensure that I don't get a license and make my license got took away. in her anger over her ex-boyfriend, the love triangle affair is what I said was going on. Now, when she took it there, the council called me in to have a meeting and send me letter for what the letter was stated that I am called before the medical council board for professional misconduct. I work with my attorney at law, of course, and to date they never pick up back the issue, but a few members on the medical council board of Guyana and the former chief medical officer of Guyana, Dr. Shamyo Prasad. At that point in time, he was the chief medical officer of Guyana and also a member of the medical council board. He took it upon himself, along with other people there, to blackmail me based on that complaint what that doctor took to the medical council board of Guyana. They had it all in over my head on a yearly basis, threatening me and blackmailing me with that fake issue that doctor took there to them. I was working at GPHC at a point in time. I went through all my rotation. I was literally victimized in all of the rotations them and threatened because of that same blackmail case that was there at medical council board. I completed my rotation in 2018 at Georgetown Hospital. I successfully completed all of my rotations at Georgetown Public Hospital, excluding for one of the rotation, which was the general surgery rotation. Now, that department is a very, it's always break my heart when I got to talk about the racism, which has been going on in that same department in Guyana for years. You guys, you can check for yourself how much registrar we're having in Guyana here, a day like today, that are Afro-Guyanese doctors. Check it for yourself. You know why? They do not allow young Afro-Guyanese doctors to join the program. One, when you're there rotated, is a big fight down, a big fight down, a big fight down. Me personally, I said to myself, I don't have time for that. I worked there, I did my job there, out of racism, with personal issues with other doctors who had issues with me and the way how I would have dressed it, how I usually dress to go to work. I mean, all right, you guys can check my Facebook thing and see how, I usually go to gym, exercise, and, I always dress decent and nice, my nice, decent clothes. They were like, they were like, oh, I'm coming to work to what? Model. That was the whole thing, all out of jealousy for my physical appearance. And I used to say to them, listen to this, you guys working for money, you guys who can buy your fancy clothes and wear with the heel and whatever, no problem. All kind of thing they start saying how I went to Cuba, I did surgery to perfect my shape. Yeah, to perfect my shape and all thing. A few of my colleagues at the defense me said, no, when Dr. Solomon went to Cuba, she went to Cuba with that same shape and the same. So it was just out of jealousy for my physical appearance. While I was working at GPHC, I never yet, you hear what I'm telling you guys, ill-treat none of my patients, never yet, you hear what I'm telling you guys, make no Facebook posts or claim that I have, as a medical doctor here in Guyana, ill-treat them, hire up on them, or give them a wrong man. Never. Okay, I completed my rotation at GPHC. When I took my book now to get my full license after I completed the rotation there, and I told you, see, I said I just have to repeat back one of the rotation because of the issue with myself and the doctors there. Well, they would have already contacted him and called him and tell him a set of lies about me. No, he was like, you already got a case of medical counsel and I've been waiting for you, and you're before the medical counsel disciplinary committee for professional misconduct. Yeah, and you could never get your full license, and I'm going to ensure you never get. This is the former chief medical officer of Guyana, Dr. Shamyo Prasad. I'm calling out his name because he is the one who have been behind this anti-Dr. Berysha Solomon campaign to ensure that I never get my full license, my full registration as a medical, as an Afro-Guyanese medical doctor. Okay, and he's a very wicked medical doctor. Well, I'm talking out now. I mean, if he want, he could go and get an attorney and send and want to sue me, because that's a regular thing now in Guyana. I am poor. I don't have money, so I don't know how you're going to try to sue me because I don't have no money. I am speaking out about what you did to me personally. as an Afro-Guyanese medical doctor, and there are other doctors, Afro-Guyanese doctors, who you did a lot of wicked things to as well. And they would have contacted me. And they have evidence as well. Okay? And now you create a lot of mess and a lot of issues. And he's retired and gone away when he finished creating issue. And he have his other colleagues to continue with the craziness. Well, that was it. I went in. He told me, no, I have to go and do back all the rotations them, despite I would have successfully completed them. I said, why? Eric, because you're before Medical Council Disciplinary Committee for Professional Medicine. I said, Dr. Shamdio, what are you talking about? I want an attorney up to now. They want to keep that thing over my head to blackmail me for the rest of my life as a medical doctor here in Guyana and destroy my career as a medical doctor. Okay? He formed up a new book and sent me to West Demerara Regional Hospital. You know, Dr. Shamdio Prasad went over to that hospital in a boat and tried his best to talk to all of my superior consulting doctors at that hospital there. To let them give me bad grade and fail me in my rotations and what I had to repeat. Yes, they come back and tell me to what he did. Yeah, they come back and tell me what he did. The very chief medical officer of Guyana. And he was in front of my face. He trying to play like he's, you know, like his friend with me. You know, Dr. Solomon, come on, you're going to do the rotation. I have to assist you to get a full license. He have deep hatred for me and I don't know why. I studied for my medical degree, Dr. Shamdio Prasad. I studied for it, right? So, this is it. I studied hard for this. I earned this. I didn't buy this from nobody. I did not buy it from nobody as a medical doctor. I studied hard for this degree, right? So if you get feelings in yourself because perhaps, I want to attack your children them. I ain't going to do that. Perhaps one of them trying to get into medical school I was never accepted and I have to do something else. No, so you feel a way you want this. I worked for this. I studied hard for this. Okay? Now, I went back, I did the rotation then. I successfully completed on the second time. All of them. And at that point in time, that was in 2020. At that point in time, Guyana had the whole election fiasco and whatever was going on. When I went in, second rounds, I said, this is the booklet. He said, no, you can never get a full license. A new government is going to go in there and you will never get a full license. And you're done with. You can't work back now in Guyana as a medical doctor. This is what Dr. Shamdi Prasad told me. He said, when my friends are coming to office, you're going to be jobless. You know what I did at that point in time? You know what I did? I ran to nations. And I started doing my master's in business administration because I started thinking about my exit plan. I had to leave Guyana at that point in time. So I went to nations, I signed up and I got accepted and I started my MBA. Now before Dr. Shamdi Prasad left office, you know what he did? You know what he did? This is not nothing to be racial. But he checked his file because when he had the medical council check all the doctors who were there for years without a full license and was just practicing with institutional. All the Guyanese doctors, some of them who never even completed the government the rotation that were required, some of them who failed. He called them and he wrote letters with the medical council board, they're all friends, to make sure that they all received their full license before he retired. Yeah. Because of course I'm good colleagues with a lot of them and I don't have to call anybody's name and speak so low. At the end of the day, I am not jealous that that they got a full license. Yeah. He makes sure they got it. Because at that point in time, he was going out. The Guyana was in a limbo because had happened gone back in power, there would have been a different chief medical officer. And he took care of his people then before he come out. You understand me?
What was the duration of time you practiced as a medical doctor with the Ministry of Health? And at any time during your tenure, did they ever diagnose you? Were there any issues pertaining to your medical health or your medical fitness or anything? Did they? None. I
So during my 5 years working
five
there at
years,
Ministry
yes.
of Health, let me make this very clear to everyone. At no point in time, I was never served with no letter stating that I am medically unfit to practice as a medical doctor. At no point in time, I was never diagnosed with no mental illness. That the only thing I had was depression. And depression, I mean, a lot of persons suffer from depression. Depression cannot prevent nobody from now working or functioning in their capacity. But I was never diagnosed with no other form of mental disorder at no point in time. At no point in time, I was never. What they're trying to do now is to get psychiatrists to do that, to cover their asses. That is what they're trying. But I will not allow that. I will not allow that. I won't go down. I will not allow that. I'm not going to do that. Sorry. I'm not going to do that. I
You
worked for that 5 year, and during the 5 year, I never received no letter from Ministry of Health stating, Dr. Solomon, we received complaint of you being, performing bad on your job, or being on. They never wrote me no letter. The HR they never ever wrote me no letter. So this is something I want to put out there very much, let everybody knows
and
that.
I'm glad you put that out there, and I want you to clear the air on something else, because this is a criticism a lot of people got for you. Listening to you now, I realize why. When you said that your medical superior, who's in Guyanese, said the government will change soon and you will never get your medical license to
Yes.
practice. When he said that to you, we didn't know that, but there was a time, even when you were studying in Cuba, you were following this platform, and you would be very supportive, and you criticize the wrongs of the PPP and so on, what they're doing.
So
Let me
because
finish.
of the
Let me
fact,
finish. Let me finish. Because I want you to clear the air on that, so that our viewers can understand the pressure you encountered and how you were forced. But and then you made a bow turn during the elections, when the PPP, the 5 months thing, when the PPP would have, and you made a complete about turn in support of the PPP. Was that because you realized what they were doing to you, what your senior medical
the chief
superior was
medical
doing,
officer.
chief medical officer was doing to you, and that you wanted a way to ensure that, or tell the public, because people's actions, people's reaction is because of certain actions and so on, and so just explain, to
So
the
because
Guyanese
of the
public.
fact that Guyana, in 2020, we had the whole political crisis, and was in a limbo, and I was threatened by the former chief medical officer, Dr. Sad, about my job. Now, remember, when we come back from Cuba, we have to work 5 years, and our passport usually be stamped. We are barred. We cannot leave the country as medical profession. That's a whole they have on us for 5 years. And my job was threatened in 2020. That's 1 year before my 5 year would have been up in 2021. Now, had I been taken off of my job in 2020, there's no way I could have got my freedom to leave Guyana. And this is something I want people to know. I did what I had to do as a young Afro Guyanese doctor. As what I said, Kesas, do whatever you got to do. I did what I had to do to save my job for that 1 year, so that I could complete that 5 year contract. Okay? I was very much vocally, out there on Facebook supporting the PPPC government. Yes, I was. I did what I had to do to save myself and to continue work out, so that I could buy my freedom to leave Guyana. I did what I had to do. I know a lot of persons like, oh, look what she did, and she wicked, and she caused down the coalition. Let me tell you something. I, okay, Dr. Berysha Solomon, I am having relatives who are high ranking members of the PNC party and the coalition. I don't have to call a name. I do not have to call relatives, okay? Blood, family, okay? So I do not want none of you come for me and tell me, but I abused the coalition. relative, and also I'm very good friends with a few coalition MP, real good friends. Okay? They have my personal number. I have their sorry, they have my personal number, I have their personal. Yeah, I used to openly abuse out people on Facebook, you know? As a young political activist, I say this, they say this, we do. There's a Facebook, so it was nothing personal. Nothing personal. I would have made hints to some of them, tell them, listen, they ask for, I say, listen, this is the situation, and I gotta say this. All right, I understand you and them get problem, you gotta do what you got to do. Right? So some of the coalition supporters at this point in time is saying, oh, I used to abuse out whatever. I don't have no bad blood with the coalition. I don't have no bad blood. That is politics. You abuse out on social media. No, nothing personal. Nothing personal. No hard feelings. I did what I had to do for that 1 year. Coalition was out of government. Who would have saved me? Who would have saved me? I mean, where I think I put my ex for? My ex, 2020. Where exactly I think I put my ex? It's at the key by app. No, there's exactly where I put my ex. A set of people, there is where I put it. Right?
And that is understandable, Dr. Solomon.
They did not return to power, and I just had to do what I had to do. And it's very same way right now. A lot of other Afro-Guyanese, yeah, they're too supporting the PPP. You know why? They got to keep their job. They got a family to take care of. Everybody now is in a survival mode in Guyana. So don't try and make nothing personal because you see some male Afro-Guyanese picking up the government on Facebook. Or because some female Afro, don't attack people personally. People have their family to feed. You guys see exactly what it did to me at Ministry of Health. They withhold my salary. They're not paying me. Take me off of the payroll because I publicly criticized their government for some of the wrongdoings, what they were doing to the poorer class Guyanese citizen and Afro-Guyanese. They don't like when you stand up to them and you call them out publicly on what they're doing. They just don't like that. They just want you to be a political and only speak positive about government. Nothing negative. Nothing negative. Yes, they did appoint me on board because I am having really good friends, close friends within the PPPC government. So I got appointed on a board. You understand me? I mean, I am not ungrateful. I'm grateful, and I got appointment. Being a board on a board is very prestigious. Nice. It is nice to be on a board. Yeah, I mean, I was there on the board, and I tell them thanks, for your time being on the board and stuff like that. But being on a board as a board of directors, that don't mean that you should have to publicly, what I'm saying, support the government, whatever. I was professional on the board. I never did not to compromise, nothing. For that 1 year, I served. For that 1 year. Wonderful. I made myself available 24 hours. I did my job for that 1 year on that board, okay?
Your support for the PPP, let me just make this clear. It is understandable. In my opinion, it's not acceptable, but I understand what you've done. And I believe the more important aspect we have to look at is that political interference, that environment in which people have to actually sell their souls to the PPP to get by. And that is public servants and others. And that is something that in this apartheid system under the PPP, and I'm making it clear, this apartheid system under the PPP, black people are suffering tremendously, terribly. You understand? And your situation must be highlighted to the world, and that is why we're having this conversation. And I'm happy that you're speaking out. You're intelligent. You're completely sane here on the program, and you have been able to dispel to some extent those public views that the Ministry of Health would have expressed yesterday. They did say that and let's just show the viewers, Ms. Berysha Solomon, a former employee of the Ministry of Health and recipient of a Government of Guyana scholarship, received a medical degree from the Latin American School of Medicine, Cuba. Ms. Solomon was unsuccessful in completing her clinical rotations on 2 occasions in order to be registered with the Medical Council of Guyana. She has exceeded the maximum time that was granted by the council to be registered as a medical doctor. In addition, Ms. Solomon has had a history of repeated unethical and unprofessional behavior during her employment period with the Ministry of Health. The Ministry of Health has concerns regarding Ms. Solomon's fitness to practice and will be reaching out to offer professional support over the next few days. And that's a statement released by the Ministry of Health yesterday. You said, Dr. Solomon, that they want to take you before a psychiatrist to destroy you more and so on. When have they reached out to you, or if they reach out to you to give you the help that they say they want to, based on what they suspect, what would you do?
So, what I would like the viewers to know at this point, because of the fact that Wednesday morning I went in front of the State House here in Guyana, which is the official residence of the President of Guyana, because I went in front there on my knees, pleading with His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, to please have a meeting with me to assess me so that I can get a professional job, a permanent professional job with the government of Guyana, so that I can able to take care of my baby. I went there pleading with him on my knees because for the past months I've been writing him letters upon letters, asking him to please, give me a job, and for the sake of my baby. And I never got no positive response in relation to a job. So I went there on my knees the morning. As you guys can see, the video circulating on Facebook.
Let us have a look at that clip before you continue. Let our viewers around the world have a look at that clip.
President Ali, good morning to you. I'm here currently now, today, Wednesday, the 8th of February, here in front of State House, begging you to see me. I'm kneeling down on my knees, President Ali. Look, I'm here on my knees, begging you for a professional job, President Ali. You have me writing you letters and begging you. I'm here on my knees, begging you as a single mother. My baby's only 3 years old. President Ali, since last year, I've been writing you letters, begging you. Look, I'm here in front of State House, begging you as a slave. I don't know what else to say exactly, right? Begging you just to see you 1 minute. Every time I go, it's a set of push around by your staff, them. President Ali, I'm begging you to just please see me for 1 minute. All I'm begging you for is a job, President Ali. Look, I'm here on my knees, President Ali, begging you for a job. Oh, and please don't let your bodyguard to come and gun me down or threaten me that they're going to gun me down. I don't want nobody to gun me down. I have my child for life. He's only 3 years old, President Ali. I'm in front here of State House this morning, begging you to please see me, President Ali. So much of letters I've been writing, begging you, President Ali. I've been begging you to please see me so that I can have a professional job to provide for my son. My baby's only 3 years old. How much more I have to write, President Ali? I'm begging you. I'm a medical doctor. I work 5 years and never kill nobody, no hospital, and I can't get a job up a day like today. You people take away my job, take away bread, take bread out of my mouth. Look how I have to be here like a slave on my knees begging just to see you, President Ali. This is fair? This is not fair. I'm no slave, but I have to be a slave a day like today.
As viewers would have seen there, this is apartheid Guyana. This is a black professional down on her knees, begging the president, because of what this regime is doing to African Guyanese there in Guyana. You have to get into that state to even, get a chance to work and raise your little baby, raise your children, earn your keep. I want the world to see what is happening. And many of us would have criticized Dr. Solomon. But today, we're listening to her. And today, we're seeing what the government is doing, not only to her, but to very, very many others. We're seeing it today. And I am in support of your struggle, Dr. Solomon. And I call on the opposition, I call on all who are willing and are in a position to assist you to get back into your profession and serve our country. I beg, I call upon them to come out in support of you. This is wickedness by this regime. It is wickedness, and I've said last night, we have said, Dr. Hines, Apostle Nigel London and Mr. Rickford Burke, they have concluded that we are living in apartheid Guyana. And this is the narrative that will continue. We saw you there down on your knees, asking the president. A mother. People may criticize that, but a mother's love for her child, you understand, is something very powerful. And I know you
Yes,
think about your baby and the
exactly.
future of your child, and you would make those sacrifices,
Exactly.
and therefore even in that act is a demonstration. You have become an activist by demonstrating courageously outside of the president's home, official residence, and that's the world will see. And so you continue in terms of if they call you in, would you accept?
Okay. So I'll talk about while I was there and what happened after. So while I was on my knee, I was there since Monday. I tried to, scope out the scene and know how they usually operate around State House and stuff like that. They didn't want me to see him Monday. I went to office of the president. Long story. They give me on the phone, all thing. He wasn't in there, nor the vice president was not there. Now Tuesday, President Ali went to his office. He had meeting with one of the diplomats. The next time he had meeting with two former West Indies cricketers. I said to myself, this is high level disrespectfulness from the government. You know why? I was there. I told him my story. I would like to see the president. Now the following day, he's there in his office. They could have called me just for 5 minutes to speak with him. They did not. He had time to speak to former cricketers who have money and in their home. And one single mother was there the day before, pleading to see him. He didn't have time for me. He didn't have time to speak to me. So I went back the Wednesday morning early. I woke up, I dressed, put on my clothes, everything, my skin clean, neat, put on my nice perfume, everything. So I went out there. And from the time I meet there, I already knew what I had to do. Take out my picture, make my video, post it. Because I know afterwards the scene gonna get real heated. Real heated. Now, while I was there on my knees, his bodyguard came out and took down my personal cell phone number, my address. That took picture of me to see exactly who I am to send back to President Ali. Then he sent out somebody to interview me. Afro-Guyanese woman was coming out. But there was this pampas man on the road in a white text trail. I collect his number, because I don't know who he be. He was in civilian clothes, and he was like, you can't be here. You're being disrespectful towards the government of Guyana. You're making the government of Guyana look bad. Y'all arrest her, call him and arrest her. Yeah. I don't know exactly who the single Guyanese man be or what position he hold. He's very much powerful and pompous, because President Ali at the point, the personal bodyguard was out, and Mr. Kani, he was like, Eric, come give me a phone number, your personal number, your address. Eric, this is just for help. Let me see what we could help to do. But there was this pompous guy that called me, just left a little bit more. You hear what I'm telling you, viewers and Mr. Norma? Just for you instruct those people to gun me down. Yeah, in front there, while I was on my knees, armless, pleading and begging just to see President Ali that morning. That morning, I was pleading to see him on my knees. While I was there, I cooperated with them, because a white pickup was going to enter State House while I was in front there on my knees. And I stepped aside for let the vehicle going, because why? My intention was not to block no traffic or block nothing from going in or coming out to State House. I was there to make a strong statement. I was there with the intention of armies to see President Ali. So I step aside calmly, and I think, but after the guy called the police and he behaved at a rate, some PZZ vehicle outside, a white text trail, he was in civilian clothes, very powerful. I don't know what President Ali, what position he get. President Ali, the only thing I could advise you, power drunk people, don't keep them around you. He could have caused the government that morning. Caused y'all. And make y'all become a more international. I don't know what would have happened with his power drunk self. He never tried to calm down the situation. So the van came, The police them, they took me in the vehicle, they took me to Breakdown station. Well, they drove with me there, and when I reached there, I met an inspector and he started talking to me. Well, by the time the scene start happening there, they don't call over for said leave she don't do she nothing. Don't do she just remove she from the thing. You know, the guy in the office said you're under arrest. While I was there, I was under arrest. By the time I reached Breakdown, no, you're not under arrest, Dr. Solomon. You're not under arrest. We just remove you from in front of the president in front of the president resident. You know, it didn't look so good. You know, you're young. It didn't look nice. It wouldn't look nice to the government to be there on your knee as a medical doctor. So we just remove you from the location. You're not under arrest. My apologies to you, Dr. Solomon. We apologizing to you. We just remove you from the location. You know, and I had big ones that break down to tell me this. It's your constitutional right, Dr. Solomon, to protest peacefully in front of the state. You not breach no laws of Guyana. You know? And he said it was on your knees, you was there. He said it's okay if you're on your knees. He said it's okay. It's your constitutional right if you want to see the president and you plead with them on your knees. You didn't breach no laws of Guyana. And this is something I want to make very clear to everybody. I was not arrested at no point in time for being in front of State House. Okay? While I was there, they said that you went on some bridge. They didn't say that the narrative changed. You went in front of the gate on some bridge I went on. Yeah. Say it doesn't got no bridge, but they say I went on a bridge, right? By the time I reached there, the whole narrative spin, everything done clear up. You're free to go. You're free to go and apologize to me. Right? So now,
go ahead.
Thursday now, it's cabinet meeting. I know. Thursday's cabinet meeting. So I go Wednesday, Thursday cabinet meeting. I perform Wednesday, Thursday, I gotta fix the issue. Now they decide for going to the premature damage control through the Ministry of Health to publish a very weak PR. It's a very weak, irrelevant PR statement. You know? Stating that I am not a medical doctor, referring to me as Miss Berysha Solomon, a former employee of Ministry of Health. Well, they can call me former employee. It don't matter. They don't move me. It doesn't matter to me. Yes, now referring to me as Miss Solomon, when all of their documented letters they have in previous year calling me doctor. Let me make it very clear to viewers. Once you're a medical doctor, you graduate from a medical university that is internationally accredited under the International Medical Act. There's nobody, no government that can undoctor you as a medical doctor or take away or take back your medical degree. Okay? And it's for all you Guyanese, you know, people who do not know medical act and medical law. This is an authentic certificate from the Cuban government that they issued to me in 2016, as you can see. Doctorate in medicine, okay? Doctorate in medicine. Dr. Berysha Solomon. This is a real medical degree. Okay, a lot of people, they wish they could get this, or they wish the children could even, you know, become doctors, you know. It's not easy. You gotta study. Medicine is not easy. I can tell you guys that. I have all my transcript as well. Everything I'm having here, you know, this here is my certificate from the Cuban government. No government cannot undoctor a medical doctor. They cannot. So they're putting out Miss Solomon and trying to strip, well, making it, they're attempting real hard to make it look as though I'm no longer a doctor and trying to tell people now in Guyana, she's not a doctor no more. You cannot undoctor somebody. Minister Dr. Frank Anthony, you're a medical doctor as well. You study, you have your Russian degree in medicine, right? My degree from Cuba is internationally accredited, internationally recognized. Is yours? Is yours internationally recognized? I mean, I'm not trying to. Is yours internationally accredited and recognized? Where you study from, your university? Read the history of ILAM, Latin American School of Medicine. Read it. I worked 5 years, and I would never, at no point in time, try to make the Cuban government nor their program. I would never be ashamed to the Cuban government. Never. Never, ever. I see the statement you guys put out. Sooner or later, you're going to apologize to the Cuban government. You're going to apologize to them. That premature statement, take it down from Facebook. It doesn't look well for the government of Guyana through your Ministry of Health. Come on, I'm currently studying international relations. You guys really want to play this kind of game? You want to play this kind of game? I doubt it. You want me head down? Now is the point in time you people damage control. Try to de-escalate the issue. Don't put wood in the fire. Do not put more wood in the fire. Don't do that. Who advised you guys to do that? You can't undoctor somebody. You guys take your eyes and pass the Cuban government and pass the medical program what they're offering to Guyanese so free of cost. That's what you guys are doing. Huh? The Cuban ambassador is here. You guys cannot do those wicked things to the Cuban government. I won't tolerate that. I'm having a lot of colleagues after you guys what you did to me the last time internationally. Elam pass graduate that reached out to me and they say, what are they doing? They say, you're an Elam graduate. We don't tolerate these things. I did not come out for fight no government. I came to work as a medical doctor. Now you guys are trying now to strip me of my medical degree and undoctor me a take. It does not work like that. It does not work like that.
I am glad the world is listening, and I'm glad you're speaking out.
Yes.
Ali Waldron said that Frank Anthony studied at the IFLOT Medical School. I suppose is that the IFLOT University that has a medical school and has whatever President Ali studied. But
I am a proud Latin American School of Medicine graduate.
And you've made that point.
It is one of the top medical university in the world, Minister Dr. Frank Anthony.
Okay.
We went through rigorous training.
You have made that point. You've made it. Don't oversell it. You've made it. You've made that point. You're very articulate. You're very intelligent. Of course, one can see that you have that personality, like many of us, that outspoken sort of style and so on. No nonsense. You don't take nonsense from people, and we need more of that in Guyana. Let me finish.
My colleagues know that.
Let me finish. And so, I want to ask you this final question before we wrap up, Dr. Solomon. I know that many will reach out to you after this program, and I want you to, be dignified, be understanding. I want you to work with whoever offer you that help. The opposition may reach out to you. Members of parliament, I see very strong opposition member of parliament watching the program now, female opposition member of parliament, Miss Annette Ferguson, a firebrand. And so Guyana is watching. Guyana is watching. And today they have the opportunity to hear from you. And you have dispelled here a lot of the things that the government is trying to pull the wool over people's eyes about you. You have been given the platform. I want to ask you this final question, and then I will give you an opportunity to give your closing remarks. You said that you believe that a plan is afoot to kill you and make it look like suicide. What were you talking about? Tell us.
So I've been receiving threats in different forms. All forms it's coming in, and with the statement, clearly that came out from Ministry of Health yesterday. That would have confirmed all of these threats. That a plan is in motion. To have me see a psychiatrist, have them evaluate me, and have them, write notes that, I'm mentally unfit and what have you, and depressed and want to kill myself and all kind of thing. And then they'll murder me and then use that and say, she was very depressed and she killed herself, she committed suicide. And of course the world will believe this because Guyana is one of the top ranking country in suicide.
Yes.
per capita.
Yes.
Guyana is up there. So I want people to be very vigilant. It's easy to kill anybody in Guyana and make it look as though they commit suicide. Nobody do not question because we already have the data to support the suicide rate, the high level of suicide rate here in Guyana. What I like for the international, for the regional community to know and the international community to know. All ABC EU ambassadors right now in Guyana, what I would like you guys to know that I am very much sound right now. I am nowhere mentally disturbed nor mentally unfit. I'm healthy. I'm eating well. My mom usually try her best to make sure I eat. I have my full hours of rest. I usually exercise on a daily basis. Okay? And there's no way on earth I will commit suicide. I have my son to live for. My baby's 3 years old. Suicide is a sin, and I'm not going to commit suicide to go to hell. And also, I would like for the CARICOM leaders, all of the CARICOM prime ministers to know that I am of sound mind as a medical doctor. And at this point in time, I have no suicidal thought, and I will not be killing myself nor murdering myself. To the international community, the international leaders, I will not be murdering myself. President Joe Biden, the US president, today or tomorrow you hear I commit suicide, send the FBI down here in Guyana to investigate my death. Let it take my corpse back to the US and investigate it. Okay? I will not murder myself. I will not commit suicide. Sorry, I will not be committing no suicide. I have my son to live for. His Excellency Dr. Antonio Gutierrez, the United Nations General Secretary, Dr. Antonio Gutierrez, I will not be committing suicide. I know of all the international human rights laws that if someone is a target by their government, it's your right as the head of the United Nations to send the FBI down to investigate their death if that person should turn up dead. If I'm dead today or tomorrow, no, send the FBI down here in Guyana. Let it collect my body and take it back to the States and have a full examination.
And that what you're saying is not far-fetched, because Guyana is a very wicked place under the PPP.
Exactly. So that is the reason why I'm doing this live. And thanks to Mr. Norman, I can put it out there.
But no one will touch you. No one will touch you after this. I can assure you that no one, the world, will be seeing this. And your story is out there now. And as you are aware, while they wouldn't put your story in the national newspapers or give you the opportunity, whatever, social media has trumped the national newspapers and their little television.
Yes, you know one more thing,
the
Mr.
world
Norman. They try now they're begging me not to do interviews to highlight my story out there and my plight. I said, no, don't do no interview. They're begging me not to do interview. They said, oh God, don't talk to Mr. Norman Brown. Oh God, don't go to Mr. Glenn Law. Oh jeez, don't go to him. They're begging me not. Oh God, don't do no live with Mr. Mark Benson. Oh God, I'm ready for a work. He gonna take this story and say you're not your thing with it. They're begging me now, you know.
But what I know for a fact.
They need to call me in for a professional meeting and let this issue be resolved.
What I know for a fact is that they have been calling, this is factual, that they have been calling top media persons, popular media persons in Guyana, saying to them that you have mental illness, you have a history of madness, and you know, and they have. I know that for a fact because that information came to me. I have the evidence to prove that.
Wow.
But in media, we look out for each other, and so I will not call names, but I have the evidence to prove that the Ministry of Health and the PPP people have been calling senior media people and painting a picture of you as a mad person for you to be dismissed and no one take you
Yes, I let
seriously and
him
so
do
on.
that
But
air the
this
story. I let
program,
him do that air
this
the story.
program,
Yeah.
wait a minute, this program is the voice of the people, the ordinary people, the professional people. Once there is a problem, we will stand up for you. None is insignificant on this program. I want to give you a minute or two. You've made your point. There's no need to elaborate and so on and go back saying the same things over. You have actually dealt with every issue in a way that so many comments are coming in support of you. No one is cussing you at the moment. Someone said you were forgiven, so you have won the hearts of the people again because you have told I would like to think the truth about what is happening. And this platform, the PPP knows that they have to know how they are coming. And that apartheid, wicked, demonic regime, that racist, hateful, corrupt regime, we know you, Barajagdio. We know all of you, and we know what you're doing to black people, and we will continue this fight. We will continue to expose you fearlessly. And I want you to understand that there's nothing that you can do to stop our voices, even from the grave we will speak, because the liberation of our people is most important on our agenda. And so I want to say that I want to thank you for coming on and speaking out. I am moved by the clarity and so on in the way you delivered delivered. And I want to give you a minute in closing to say what you want to say to the general public, and we'll wrap up.
So to the general public, I would like everyone to know at this point in time, they would have taken away my job from me. And my aim right now, I mean, is to, I'll just go out to Guyana, go by one of my medical doctor colleagues, what I'm having in another country. I reach out, they would have reached out to me, and so I'm just, asking for any form of donation, financial assistance, so that I could, put money together to leave to go by one of my colleagues in another country. Because given the situation here in Guyana with the government unwillingness to de-escalate this issue in a professional manner, by calling me back and say, here you have a job, you can work to provide you. They want to go down that nasty path, the gutter path, to continue victimizing me. So my phone number is 592-680-6122. 592-680-6122. That's my personal cell phone. Anybody can WhatsApp me and make a donation. Any amount of money I'm accepting. I'm not, putting out what people should donate. It's just money so that I can gather to buy my ticket so that I can able to leave Guyana. My email address, it is solomonberysha@gmail.com. That is SOLOMONBERYSHA@gmail.com. You can reach me via my email as well. You can send me an email, or also you can view me on my Facebook. You can inbox me via Messenger and pledge. You can check me on Facebook. My name is BERYSHA SASKIA That is my contact information. If anyone, it's just money so that I can get out of Guyana basically and go to another country and start over all over again and thing, because I'm here, professional person, can't get a job, begging the government. I mean, they don't want to employ me, so I have to move on with my life. I'm young, and life goes on. And the fight and struggle here in Guyana for poor class guidance, it will continue. It will continue. You guys will see more of me in advocating for poor class Guyanese national as well. And I will be on more interviews, and I will be on another follow-up interview with Mr. Norman Brown as well. So enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you very much, guys. And well, let us see what will be the other forms of damage control. I mean, I'm urging them, advising them, because I'm currently studying international relations, at the postgraduate level. It does not look good for Guyana. You guys are damaging the Cuban government reputation with that statement. Just don't duck solo. Don't do it to the Cuban government. Don't do it.
Doctor,
Don't do it. It's
Doctor,
writing to President Ali. Don't do it. Talk to Minister Frank Anthony. Use a different damage control strategy, but don't use that word. Don't do it.
Dr. Berysha Solomon, Saskia Solomon here on Voice of the Diaspora. We have run out of time. And of course, I wish you and your baby boy, all the blessings and success that is afoot for you. I know that you will be contacted by people, very affluent people in Guyana that would not bow to this regime and that care about what is happening to African Guyanese, especially our black women, our black
Yes,
professional
and
women,
also
and so I want to say thank you for being here on the program, and until then, keep in touch with this program. Whatever happens, if you feel threatened, if you feel like you're being followed, you can always call. You can always call me, or you can speak to opposition personalities. Call Annette Ferguson. Call Amanzo Walton Desir. Call
But
the leader of the
I have
opposition.
personal numbers so on speed dial. So they
Good.
have to know
And
that I want
so
to try anything funny. So I
I
even
don't.
have speed dial to people, at the
I,
United Nations as well. So
okay. So thank
yeah.
you very
Thank
much,
you.
and do have a pleasant evening.